Hello, everyone, and welcome to Celebrating Cinema, a podcast for the love of cinema. I'm your host, Laura Gomans. If you're enjoying the show, we'd really appreciate it if you left us a review and shared it with a friend. It really helps other cinema lovers find us. Why do some films find their audience long after everyone else has given up on them? Some of cinema's greatest love stories aren't between characters. They're between audiences and the films the world once rejected. The misunderstood masterpiece, the midnight movie, the cult classic that slowly found the people who needed it most. To celebrate Pride Month and Lab 111's current camp, cult, and queer program, filmmaker Kiriko Mechanicus is joined by film programmer Alicia Bergamelli to discuss what camp really is. They dive into how audiences are able to redefine the films and performances of cinema history and discover new meanings to often forgotten or overlooked films. Before we begin, here are a few highlights from what's going on at Lab 111 in Amsterdam this week. On the 2nd of August, join us in our renewed Lab 8.5 for Alfonso Cuarón's Y tu mamá también. It's a sun-drenched road movie about desire, friendship, and the uncertainty of youth. And to celebrate its 20th anniversary, Martin Scorsese's The Departed returns to the big screen.
Hi, Alicia.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here.
Of course.
You are a film lover.
Yes, I
A
am.
film programmer.
Yes, that's true.
And a filmmaker.
True.
And we're here to talk about maybe the genre of cinema that comes closest to heart.
True. That's also very, I agree. Like, it's very, how do you say? Like, multi-faceted. Yes, thank you. My English sometimes slips away. And, also camp is about exaggeration, performance, perception, a bit about everything.
It's about it all.
Yeah, and so it's really fitting for cinema, like we were talking about earlier, and also femininity as well. So yeah.
Maybe before we dive into camp, I want to know, what is the last film that you saw?
I watched Bushra recently.
What is that?
Yesterday. So it's about a jackal. So it's an animated film. It's a jackal in New York City. Filmmaker that tried to make a film about a relationship with her mom, and she goes through a relationship with her, but also with her like being a lesbian as well. And it was very touching. It made me cry quite a lot. First 10 minutes I cried immediately. Wow. Yeah, that's how it felt for me, especially because it was very close to home as well. And also it was very funny too. It was very clever in general. Also the use of animation as well. I would recommend it if people haven't watched it yet.
I watched the film yesterday that was very camp. Yeah. I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2, the final Twilight film.
Wow. I was like, wait, what?
Yes. That was campy. That was very campy. It was not in preparation for this episode, but it fitted right in.
Wow.
But it's funny because I used to be big on Twilight as a teenager. It made me discover a lot of things about my sexuality, I guess.
With Edward Cullen?
With Edward Cullen.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
You may not know this, but Kiriko's boyfriends were based on Edward Cullen for a while.
If you have
really?
The pictures from all the boys that I dated in high school.
Oh my God, girl.
They're all trying to be a spin-off.
Oh my God, girl. Yeah. Good to know about this.
Now you know me better. But it's funny because I think at the time it made me very emotional. It made me understand things about love and romance, all these
When
things.
did you watch it?
For the first time?
Yeah.
I know when it came out, when I was 14 maybe.
Okay, teenager, yeah.
But now it's fucking insane. You watch that shit and you're like, this is so weird and so problematic, extremely toxic. Yeah. But I think the last one, Breaking Dawn Part 2, which is the last film, is in a way maybe the most campy one, because in essence what happens is that all the vampires, the friends of the Cullens, they come over to sort of protect, I don't know, this secret that they have. But it's all these weird vampires from the Amazon.
Yeah,
and,
New York.
The Middle East. And I don't know, really making culture so funny, cultural identity so funny and weird, and I don't know, of course, also very problematic, but I don't know, lovely.
Also, the costumes were nice. I think there's also Lee Pace.
Lee Pace is in the film. Yeah, he has like this sort of like
good.
English 16th century weird coats. But he's also really good in that film. And there's like also these cunty Canadian blonde vampires that are like,
wow, you remember?
I saw yesterday.
But it's in your mind.
Yeah. So today we're talking about camp.
Yes.
Maybe for those who are not familiar with this phenomenon, how would you describe camp?
I would say it's an aesthetic style, first of all. Deals a lot with, like I said earlier, exaggeration, a lot of great costumes, glitter, like pink boas as well. Yeah, exuberance, extravagance as well. Yeah, this I think as a style, but then when we put it into more like queer-coded representation also with like more marginalized people, so also women or Black and brown folks, I think it's also a way of resistance or like acceptance of your own way of moving. Also be more about performance, like performance that in a way gets you more closer to your true self, I would say. Yeah, but in our mainstream mind, it's about an aesthetic style. I think this is a way to summarize it completely in a few sentences.
Yeah. There's also something weird about it that it's maybe hard to really put a clear definition on what camp is. So I think like the one person who has tried to create a definition of camp is Susan Sontag. And she wrote an essay called Notes on Camp, which is just like, 50 points where she tries to describe what camp is. But she starts off, I reread it yesterday, already saying like, it is a sensibility.
Yeah.
And the moment that you define a sensibility by a set of rules, it already loses this sensibility of this flair or air that it has.
That's true,
so she goes off by saying, okay, it's, in a way, it's also kind of weird that I'm writing this essay because already by writing it, I'm maybe destroying something.
But at the same time, there were more queer theories that came in and also reframe it as a tactic to survival in a way. Like, for example, one is Jose Esteban Munoz. He wrote Cruise in Utopia and also Disidentification. Yeah, like I said earlier, it's a bit of like a tactic of survival in a world that has created like a set of rules for you. So I don't know if it makes sense, but... it changed a little bit, the meaning. Like for like queer people, Black and brown people, is more like survival and try to navigate life. It became more political as well. Yeah.
Suzanne, she writes that because it's an aesthetic expression or this idea of like aestheticizing the real world, it also means that turning something camp is also emptying it from its content or like taking the meaning of it out of it and purely seeing it as an aesthetic phenomenon, which is actually maybe the complete opposite of what you're saying.
This sounds like a complete opposite. Yes. But I think it's nice that it takes different meanings as well, or like people have different sensibilities to it. Like there's not this like a fixed truth about it. So
I think camp is it exclusively an American phenomenon?
No, I mean, it started in Europe. It started for what I read, it started in the 16th century. So the word itself comes from French word camper, which means like a strike, like a move in a boldly way. And also it comes from an Italian word, which means campare, like to get by or to live by. And already in the 16th century, we see people using camp aesthetic or maybe like the dandy kind of personality and also costumes as well. So I don't think it's really US based. Yeah, and also like in the global south, there's also people using camp as a way of doing cinema too. And also talking about politics too. Like I watched this short film from Taiwan. I don't remember the title now, but it was using camp as a way to talk about the government too. And it was mostly queer people in the film, yeah. And now I don't remember the film, but it was a short film, yeah.
Wow, my bad. Just me and my American mind.
maybe it started, but it's moving a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, if you think about it, opera is like maybe the most camp thing existing ever.
True.
But I guess there is something about American culture in general where it has embedded this idea of creation from zero and like pure 100% plastic artifice.
Yeah.
That is just what that nation is built on.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why
Could be.
everything in America is just camp in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's true. But I do see it.
Maybe America is, for a large part, Sontag's camp. And then all of the camp outside of America is the protest camp.
Exactly. I see it better this way.
New theory.
New theory. We're making new theory here. New philosopher coming out.
Could you maybe just expand on what you mean by camp as a means of survival?
Like, because for like queer people, like in the 50s and 60s, there were a lot of stereotypes, and there still are stereotypes about queer people, and same also for Black and brown people. And so it's about more reappropriating, like cultural codes that usually were used to harm, us or like other, marginalized community. So, it's something that often happens, like reappropriation of things that were harming to like, I don't know if it makes sense again, but yeah.
Maybe it's also about this inherently knowing that if you are a minority, the reasons for which you are a minority, whether that be because, if you don't fit within the normative anything, you understand just by existing that identity is also artifice, and that
exactly
life is performance, and that life is theater, because, you don't play the role that is fitted in. So then you can, I don't know, use it to play around with. It's knowing something that people that don't use life as theater.
We know what these people.
It's fun to, I think, look at what is camp in daily life, but somehow cinema is oftentimes so extremely campy.
Yeah. I mean, it's an artifice, like it's faking reality. Mostly we talked about this, about performance once again. It's based on, there's actors performing someone else. There's a makeup involved. There's like the creation of this fake world. And camp is pretty much about that as well. Like part of a face of camp is that too. Also in connection to what, like we said earlier, like it's also about femininity too with cinema. Like I don't know, it's all about exaggeration. And
I love that. You said cinema is maybe about femininity. I never thought about it that way.
Because also femininity is a performance. Think about it. So maybe cinema is the most feminine form of art. I don't know.
Divine goddess.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it could be. It's a stretch.
I love that. Yeah. You have to tell Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, yes.
He needs to know.
Let me talk to him now. I have to talk to him.
You have to tell him.
Yes, my
bro. He'll love it.
No, I don't think so. I'll be like, shut up. What are you talking about? No, absolutely not.
Do you remember maybe the first camp film that you saw in your life?
I think Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's very, like, I saw it in film school. I think that would be like one of the pillar of camp, I would say. Yeah, I think that would be it. Yeah. What for you?
Maybe Charlie's Angels.
Oh, okay.
Charlie Angels really taps into this idea of performing a woman and like taking up another identity of what a woman is every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's done in such a kooky way.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, we watched it last year. Oh. You watched it for the first time.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
I loved it. I've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, though.
It's showing here like every
day.
2 weeks.
It's here.
I need to go.
And also sometimes they do like the midnight screenings probably. I don't know if here, but like you can
Yeah. They do it here as
it's
well.
fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. You need to participate once. Maybe watch it first and then go sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a fan.
As a newly founded fan.
Well, actually, I don't think Rocky Horror Picture Show is part of the program, but it is showing here all the time. But there's so many fun films that are part of this program. It may be my favorite program of Lab 111 to date.
Cute. Yeah.
What are some of your favorites
Of the program?
of the program? Maybe not favorites, just films that speak to you.
I mean, there's Bound, classical of lesbian cinema.
Let's talk about Bounds.
Yeah, shall we? Okay.
Let's talk about Bounds.
Okay.
Bound.
See.
For those who have not seen this film, first of all, go see it. But it's a film by the Wachowski sisters, and it speaks on this. It's a love relationship between a mob girlfriend.
Yeah, arm candy. Yeah.
Arm candy of like this New York mafia guy.
Yeah.
Who live in this loft on the top floor, and in the apartment next door, it's like an apartment that needs some fixing up.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
there's this plumber girl who is fixing up the house.
Corky.
Corky. Crazy name. Corky. Corky and
Violet.
Hi. My name's Violet. We sort of met on the elevator.
Sure, I'm Corky.
Corky. Well, I heard you working in here, and I was just wondering if you'd like a cup of coffee.
Sure. Come on in. Just give me a second.
All right.
And they, of course, glance at each other in the elevator, and immediately it starts to heat up. And like within 10 minutes, they start hooking up.
Yeah.
And they're like, forever together.
Yes, good gang.
It's a love story, but it's also a very 90s mafia. We need to get the 2 million and we're going to steal it. And there's like intrigue and secrecy. And it's a very exciting masculine film, I would also say, in the sense that it uses all these ideas of, I don't know, the idea of stealing money from the main guy in all these, I don't know, it's a mafia film,
Yeah,
no?
it's a neo-noir gangster film.
It's a gangster film.
That's how I would describe it. I don't know, like we all have in mind how a noir film goes, no? Especially when there's like the femme fatale, which is Violet, and like usually they die. But here, like there's a plot twist. She does not die. Maybe this is a spoiler for those who haven't watched it yet. Oopsie. But yeah, like there's this like plot twist that is really important. I think this is why it's also such a cool film to watch. Apart from like this lesbian representation, this very hot and steamy like environment that has been created. I think this is pretty much it. Also, what is good about it, the film. Like also, there's a lot of like how the camera moves as well.
So cool.
I think that's also what's cool about like at least what the Wachowskis do most of the time. Like the first part of the film before they have sex is very like boxy. The shots are very like controlled. But after they have sex, it's more like free to move around. So it's really pretty cool as well. Like it's a film about feeling too, I think. So yeah.
It does something very beautiful with the medium. Also because what I was saying earlier, that it is a masculine film, it's very much plays with this idea of how we watch men in these film noir films, because you're sort of used to them being the big guys and like, man on man interaction. And then like as the film progresses, these men become so silly and they become like so, I don't know. You can really see the bit that they're performing. Funny enough, it's like a very realistic film about masculinity and also how it crumbles down in a way.
Yeah, and also there's this like the opposite, like femininity too. Like Violet changes, like she's a shapeshifter, I would call her. Like I think this code switch in her is like her skill in the film. Like Corky is a bit more masculine, and Violet, of course, is more femme. And so with a guy, I don't remember his name.
Caesar.
Probably, yeah. She's more like his last thing. Caesar, I don't last thing.
Yeah. And the mafia boss like, Cesare, come here.
Exactly. But she's more like submissive, but then when she's like with Corky, she's more like femme, be more like she knows what she wants as well. This one too, I think, is an important part of the film too, like this playing with this aspect. Yeah, I think maybe this also can make it camp as well, like connection to what we said earlier. So
has this film always been camp? Because I think there's two sections of camp films now. Films that are intended to be camp.
Yeah.
And I think a much larger section of films that are trying to be films and stories, and then in time become camp.
Yeah, this is more the second example. It's also the way we're also seeing this film in this episode as well, about like performance. So no, like it is not a camp film per se. Like it hasn't started as a camp film. Also, it's very like a classical Hollywood film. Like there's like a studio behind, like Dino De Laurentiis is behind the film. And it's like in opposition as well to other queer films that have been made during the 90s too. So yeah.
I wonder what that is though. Like what is the tipping point of a film becoming camp? What is like, when do we realize, oh, actually, this is not just a good film anymore. It's actually super camp. It's kind of odd, no? Because it's more something that happens within yourself than within the film, obviously.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I also wonder.
And who decides it?
Exactly, also that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how, maybe because also films, in a way, they always take new meaning by the generations, like I feel like our generation is reading films differently from like 10 years ago or like 20 years ago as well. So it could be pretty much that as well. Yeah. And also like on Letterboxd, I read people that were saying this is a cringe lesbian film. I was a bit like, oh no, I don't see it that way. I see a masterpiece. Yeah.
But there is an element of camp being bad or cringe.
Absolutely.
Which is, I think it's very important, actually.
Yeah.
Because it means that it is the gateway for something bad to become good.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, maybe artists who are not queer, whose work is labeled as camp, they don't dig it, no? It's not a compliment.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you're gay, it's like, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the crown.
I have it.
When does bad become good? Something happens in history, in the world of a film or of an object or an artwork, that something becomes something new.
Maybe because it also, I don't know, allows us to be more ourselves. I don't know. Like I'm trying to think about this.
It's also quite unique to cinema, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see it less in like a book suddenly becoming a masterpiece when it was considered the worst thing of all time.
Yeah.
Normally they're just overlooked. Or with a song, it's not like a bad song becomes the best song ever. But yeah, with film,
it happens a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It really happens a lot. I think maybe because cinema is so tied to this idea of being true to life, or like it's inherently about imitation, that the moment that something turns camp, maybe it's the moment that we realize that we look at something and we say, oh, we were all just pretending.
Yeah.
Maybe when it comes to Bound, people en masse had to understand, oh, gangsters are not gangsters. They're like just wearing a suit and like playing big, but So, and I think maybe it takes a lot of people some time to understand how we are performing in this day and age, because performance and identity is constantly changing. It makes me think about how maybe, I mean, we are all woke, but maybe
speak for yourself.
7 years ago, I guess I think for myself, something started to happen in my identity also, where I thought, oh, the way I speak is, changes.
Sure.
the way we relate to one another, what being progressive became like a very substantial part of my identity. And now there's like a lot of these maybe shows and films coming out that create an archetype of what the woke persona is.
Yeah, and we all want to go against that persona.
No, not really, but you see, like, we were, in a way, also trying to figure out what the standards of identity were for projecting our belief systems into the world. You know what I mean?
What you just said about projecting, I think really plays to film, because as much as you're watching a projection, you're, like you said, projecting your own beliefs and opinions onto something. You have a certain set of beliefs and an identity, and you project that outwards into the world that you see. And because film is equally a projection of something, at the same time, those two things are happening together. Which I find very interesting, because then as we grow, as society changes, therefore the film can change itself, because you're projecting something different back onto the film.
I mean, film it presents reality, but it also very much presents fantasy, fantasy of that era, fantasy of that time. What do we aspire? What do we want, women to look like? What do we want to look like ourselves? So you show it, you fantasize about it, and then 20 years later, we fantasize about completely different things. But it also plays into maybe this sense of like, oh, I can just put this on today and like, tap into whatever that fantasy was at the time or something.
Well, I love how this started with Bound.
Yes. Another film that you mentioned that you loved is Cruising.
Yes.
Which is also in the program.
It's one of those films that have been reappropriated, like talking about now of like how things change meaning and how also we change all this discourse. Yeah, it's a film that when it came out was like a disaster. People were like, no, let's boycott this film, especially the gay community. Rightfully so, they were like trying their best to hijack the film.
Well, can you tell us what the film is about?
So it's about Al Pacino being very confused, like being a confused homosexual, jokes aside. So, I mean, it's the truth. It is so true, but let's be more serious, like let's be serious people. So it's about Al Pacino being a newly assigned cop, and there's a serial killer on the loose. And so his police department decide to send him to undercover, of course, in this leather, of course, because, this leather S&M club in New York. Yeah, this is pretty much it, to say a few sentences.
Excuse me, could I ask you about these?
What about them?
What are they for?
Well, like blue, Hank, in your left back pocket means you want a blowjob. Right pocket means you give one. The green one, left side, says you're a hustler. Right side, you're a buyer. The yellow one, left side, means you give golden shower. Right side, you receive. The red one means...
Thank you.
See anything you want?
I'm gonna go home and think about it.
I'm sure you'll make the right choice.
You have to watch it. You really have to watch it. It's a film, I think I watched it 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, it's amazing. It's also anti-police film, I think.
Very much.
It. And Al Pacino is amazing. Like, wow.
Is it by the same director of The Exorcist?
Exactly. Yeah. Good that you said that, because he made this like big amount of film, like The Exorcist, like French Connection, like he has an amazing curriculum, and also made The Boys in the Band earlier. Yeah, it's also like a milestone of gay cinema too.
Was he gay?
No, absolutely not. Do you think so?
It's a bit of a coincidence to make two.
I know, but maybe as a
The Exorcist is such a gay film too. Also.
a gay film. No, maybe he had a sensibility to like I don't know, to the gay community, or maybe it was something was happening in him that we don't know. And
maybe he was the Al Pacino. He made a little film about himself.
Yeah, probably. But first, he didn't want to do that film.
Al Pacino?
No, William Friedkin. He didn't want to direct the film because it was, I think, the producer approaching him. Let's adapt this story, this novel, And he said like quite a few times no. And at first maybe he was going to Spielberg this film. But then Friedkin accepted it because people around him were involved in murders. Yeah, like he had a friend that was a cop that was involved in these murders and also in a gay club. And also, this is a bit of film lore, but Paul Bateson, that was the radiologist in The Exorcist, killed a film reporter. And he was also kind of involved in he was kind of involved in the bag murders of the 70s. I think Friedkin got taken by these stories and he also decided to interview Bateson for the film. So Bateson was the film consultant. This murderer was the film consultant for Cruising. Yeah, because because the bag murders was mostly gay men being killed and put inside these bags. Yes.
And could you maybe explain why the gay community pushed back when it first came out and how it's become reappropriated?
I mean, the AIDS crisis started already, like in the 70s. This film came out in the 80s. Yeah, as most of the times happens, they knew already that this film was gonna be exploited by like the straight community against them. You know, like any excuse was good to, you know, perpetuate violence on them. So that's why they were pushing the film to be stopped. Like, for example, they were hijacking it with like mirrors, like they were pointing mirrors on set to like destroy the lighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awful.
They were trying their best because they knew that they would be like, again, into this cycle of violence. And also at the same time, Vito Russo, that he wrote The Celluloid Closet. So it's a very famous book. Also, they made a documentary. He also talked about this film as well. The screenwriter, it was also like assaulted with his partner on the street after this film came out. So yeah, like any excuse was the best for them to perpetuate violence on the gay community. Yeah. So that's why they were trying. Yeah.
I mean, it is also like one of the boldest things to do to make a story about homosexuals and death during the AIDS epidemic. I think you cannot separate the one thing from the other, no? It's almost, there's like this whole other interpretation of the film that you could project on it as this silent killer being something else, being AIDS, like moving through the clubs and things like that.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, or maybe like there were also people saying that, so it's like the leather community turning a person violent, you know, which is not true. I don't see the film that way. But yeah, you can make a lot of readings about the film, but essentially it's an anti-cop film, I think.
Yeah.
Because at the time, also still now, like police are not really, you know, protecting the most vulnerable. Like they don't care. They just, perpetuating cold politics. Like they have an agenda, which is the government agenda and so on. So yeah, pretty much it, yeah.
And why was it reappropriated?
It was reappropriated, I think, because first of all, Friedkin made a lot of research on the film. Also, like he was going in, not him in person, but they were like involving people going to the leather clubs to do research as well. So it's a bit of a time capsule of the leather gay community back then, before like AIDS became the epidemic that we all know. So I think that, and also it's very hot. I don't know, the bar scene where where Al Pacino is there.
It's amazing.
Also, the outfits are wonderful. I would like to have one of the jackets too. It's really, I think that could be that it's being reappropriated. And also in general, like our generation is very anti-cop. I think it's one of the generation that's very anti-police. So could be that as well, yeah.
It's also something beautiful also where you see all this cop culture being appropriated in the S&M culture. So all these, it's like it gets very confusing at some point because everyone in the club is just wearing a cop hat or costume. And it also shows this beautiful side of this sexuality and intensity, and also not violence, but I would say intensity being combined in a space and like exploding. This scene that you're describing where it's Al Pacino who gets invited to dance and then, you know, he does poppers and then he gets like I don't know, really freaky. Like it's such a freaky dance that he does. And then like right next to him, someone's being fisted.
Yeah.
And then there's like everyone looking at each other and there's leather everywhere and the sweat, you can just like feel it dripping off the ceiling.
Yes.
But something cuckoo happens in that scene where it becomes like all these flashes of images in the club. But in between, there's also flashes of the American flag.
Yeah.
Which if you don't notice it, you don't notice it. But then, I don't know, it becomes like this explosion also of America in that time.
Yeah.
It's this appropriating violence, but really celebrating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think celebration of this intensity is, I think, only gay men can do in that way. Yeah.
True, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, because if other people do it, or let's say if other men do it, it just like immediately falls to crumbles, you know? People die immediately.
No, I also like, I don't know if you remember in the film, like the killer is always a bit like, you never know who's the killer. Like there's always this, you know, like anxiety of who is it. Like also the serial killer becomes the victim at a certain point. Like plays with this perception idea, this feeling, this uneasiness a little bit too.
Yeah. But what is very clear from the beginning is that the police officers are the absolute enemy from the beginning. From the beginning of the film, they're assaulting the girls, assaulting the trans girls. Like, no question about that. Bound and Cruising are like such a perfect double bill.
True, giving idea to people if they want to do double feature.
Such a perfect double bill. Maybe to move on from this gay heist films, I want to talk with you about Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah. Bette Davis, love her.
Yeah.
Also John Crawford. Yeah.
They're fantastic. Yeah, maybe briefly what it is about. So Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is a film about two girls who in childhood, one of them, Baby Jane, is like child star. She sings all these songs about her daddy and her love for her father. And she has a doll. She becomes like super popular and everyone loves her for her childlike, doll, sweet,
very innocent,
deliciousness. Yeah. And her sister does not have the same lure and popularity, and her mother tells her, one day you're going to be as famous, if not more famous than your sister. Remember that you will have to be kinder to them than they are to you right now, because she's kind of like ignored by her dad and bullied by her sister. And of course, her mother spoke these words into truth. Her sister becomes like this Hollywood star, very elegant, very gorgeous. And Baby Jane grows up to be an adult. So, you know, her attraction of being a child disappears. But, you know, as we know, being a celebrity is addictive. So she continuously, throughout her life, continues to sort of like hone into this childlike appearance and this doll-like lifestyle, but that doesn't work for adults, so she becomes an alcoholic. And she becomes a very jealous alcoholic, so much so that these two women, you know, they grow out of their careers. They're in their 60s, I guess, and they live together. Most of the film is about them.
And also Blanche, the sister, she had a car accident.
Which
is rumored that was Baby Jane that did it to her.
Yeah, their careers are over. Blanche is in a wheelchair. Baby Jane is a baby who's not a baby anymore with an alcohol problem. And throughout the film, you see these two sisters dealing with one another and the problems that they have. And I think one of the most beautiful things about this film is that it's fantastic casting of two actresses who in real life embodied different forms of filmmaking and different forms of acting. And they were also not fond of each other in real life.
But was it true? Like,
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, never trust the media.
That was like a marketing move for us. But then, I don't know. Because Joan Crawford, I think she really wanted to work with Bette Davis.
I thought it was Bette Davis who was like, I think Joan is...
I don't know. the rumors keep
tabloids.
circulating, keep going out.
Let's believe it, though. For the sake of the story.
Yes.
Reignite the beef.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Ryan Murphy made a whole series about it.
Saying that it's not true.
No, making dramatizing this mythology.
Oh.
Yeah, feud.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who knows? It sounds beautiful, dare I say. They were definitely embodiments of different types of acting. Like Bette Davis has like this very exaggerated, she's just camp in existence. She has like this exaggerated way of moving and talking and like
very
this aggression
deranged.
coming into your face. And this film is, when was it made?
62? Yeah, 62.
62.
Yeah.
So it's a bit older.
Yeah.
I would say definitely not a film that when it was made had the intention of being...
No, I don't think so. It became, it's again a reappropriation, especially by gay cis men. So for like the makeup for Bette Davis, amazing performance. But also Joan Crawford, she was really good. Like she was like carrying her body around like the whole set. Like she was on a wheelchair, so bounded to it. So both of them amazing. But yeah, it got reappropriated by the gay community also because RuPaul is obsessed with a film. Like, they're always like during the drag race, there's always whatever happened to Baby J in performance too.
What happened to Baby JJ? When last we saw Baby JJ, she nearly killed her sister Bland on the beach. But she survived. Now, 50 years later, they're still trapped together at the senior home.
I think it got later the camp meaning that we know now.
It's quite a dramatic film.
Yes,
it's also not really an easy watch.
Yeah.
And it's, all these things that you described earlier as camp, like glamour and, the glitters and the bows. It's actually the absence of all these things that are this film. What makes it camp if all the glamour is gone?
I feel like a broken radio right now, but I think it's always about performance once again, because this is a film that only relies on performance. If it's that great, if it's the film that we love now, it's because of Bette Davis and Joan Crawford performance, because I think that the script is a bit mediocre. Like, if I can be honest, like it's very... Like, it's just a chamber piece also. I don't know, very boring in general. So I think it's thanks to them that elevated all of this, and also this faded glamour, them playing like distorted versions of themselves in real life. So yeah, I think it's performance. It's all about that, guys. Yeah.
It's also very much a film about aggression. It's
true.
Like a landmark of gaslighting.
Yeah, it is. But also, like, when I watch it, it really felt like a horror for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, a bit like Psycho vibes by Hitchcock. I don't know. It felt really a horror thriller. And then I do see the camp afterwards. I watched it, but on first I was like, oh wow, like she's losing her mind.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah,
it's about torture.
Yeah. And also this film like created a new like exploitation genre too, like hags exploitation, like psycho BD exploitation. So like it was like the first film that launched it.
I think all the films that we talked about now, because they are from a previous century, we can now like confidently say, oh yes, that is about this moment in the history of humankind. And therefore we recognize the performance and whatnot. Could you think of films that are made in this day and age that could potentially become camp 15, 20 years from now?
In the future? Also, if you have ideas, please shoot them. Like, also you, Elliot, please. Yeah.
I'm just saying this. Don't remember it properly, but maybe Harry Potter?
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Huh?
How come?
Please.
Like the whole thing of being a wizard is a performance in itself, and like the idea of it, that I could imagine maybe looking back that there is some, I don't know. It's the first one that came to mind. That it's just like
crazy.
This is wow. I'm like, wow. I would have never thought of that. Yeah. But maybe it could be.
Like the costumes and everything. And there's just, if it is to do with performance and this kind of thing, I could see it. Which would also be very poetic, given the journey J.K. Rowling's gone on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very poetic.
Very poetic, true. Twilight is already considered camp?
I think so.
Oh, sad.
We're there, yeah. We're there.
Well, I don't know. Maybe The Irishman.
The Irishman!
I'm joking.
I like that.
I mean, like, they're very exaggerated. I don't know, also the costume, also the special effects to the VFX is really, I don't know. I think maybe in the future...
Yeah, we're gonna be like, this is what they thought.
This is what Martin
guys.
Scorsese, Al Pacino is back again. Maybe not.
Guys being guys.
Guys being guys, but they love each other.
Wow.
But do you think we are still able to have camp stories now when like queer identity is much more accepted and open? You just have much more explicit queer narratives.
Maybe not in the Western world.
Yeah.
Maybe more like in Global South, like Africa, like if I have to think about it, like, West Africa, Taiwan, we're still pretty much, their queer identity is still a bit hidden, also criminalized. So I think there we're going to see more production of camp. Yeah, and us, we're, I think, a bit beyond that.
Through this conversation, I realized that there's something so beautiful about camp really crossing any idea or fundaments of what culture is supposed to be, because it always turns out to be the opposite of what it intended to be. And in a way, I find that really liberating, because I think like some of the most beautiful camp masterpieces, because they never intended to be camp, it's really a philosophy of realizing that something's beautiful in a new way.
Yeah, except no, it's true. No, it's true. Oh, please, so cute. No. No, I was just thinking about, like, we didn't talk about Pink Flamingos. I think it's the camp film per excellence. Also because you talked about Susan Sontag before. You framed it perfectly before, but I think Pink Flamingos and what Susan Sontag wanted to say with camp, they go pretty much hand in hand. Because if you want to try to explain camp, it loses the meaning. And also Pink Flamingos is literally the same. That you cannot intellectualize Pink Flamingos.
No, that's true.
So this is like maybe a way, like another phase of camp is definitely this.
So maybe that's also why we cannot really think of the examples of what camp will be in the future, because we don't know what the definitions are of the performativity of our today.
Yeah. We're going to know it maybe in 10 years.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Yeah, of course. I'll be here. Hopefully.
See you then.
you too. Hopefully. You never know, guys.
On that dramatic note.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure to talk with you.
It was really fun. Thank you all.
Thanks so much for listening. You'll find the link to the remaining screenings in our Camp, Cult, and Queer program in the show notes. Next week, Kiriko is joined by producer Elliot Bloom to explore bureaucracy in cinema. Through the work of Jacques Tati and other filmmakers, they ask what cinema can reveal about office life, modern work, and the systems that quietly organize our everyday lives. We'll see you next week. Stay connected with us at Celebrating Cinema and Lab by following @Lab111 on Instagram and Letterboxd. Do you love what we do? Support us by leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform. This was a Lab 111 production, edited and produced by Elliot Bloom, and co-produced by myself, Laura Gomans. Music comes from Hugo Emertsal, and the artwork is by Studio FFF.